Real estate agents love to talk about Northern Virginia's job market and the tech boom. And look, I love this place, and they're not wrong to talk about these amazing things. But here's what they're not going to tell you. Last year alone, 158,000 people moved out of this area. That's 30,000 more than moved in. And the reason why is not what you would expect. The average family here faces $30,000 a year more than their mortgage just in living expenses. Most people that move here are just not aware of this and other things that can make or break their decision on living in Northern Virginia. Today, I'm sharing all the things that real estate agents won't tell you about living here in Northern Virginia. So let's get into the video. Oh, the good old weather here. That's one of the things that most realtors are definitely not gonna tell you. So as you can tell, if it snows here, everyone goes absolutely insane. So if you're not used to that, here in Washington, D.C. region, if we get like 2 inches of snow, everyone runs out, gets bread and milk, all the schools close. I mean, the kids this year literally just missed about 2 to 3 weeks right after Christmas break, because we had 2 storms that each had about 8 inches. So if you're not used to that, a lot of realtors won't tell you the federal government will even close when it snows around here, and they are not that quick to clean up the roads. Now, we don't get huge storms all the time, but it can definitely happen. But take a look at this. It is summer here right now. It is absolutely beautiful and sunny, but guess what? It's about 85 and it's only 10 a.m. Come about, I'd say noon, it'll be about 90 degrees. So the heat here can get extremely hot, which that means your HVAC unit is going to be constantly needing maintaining all the time. It's funny, in the summer you will see HVAC trucks going up and down, in and out of all of the neighborhoods. So we get extreme heat during the summer, and we get a lot of violent storms as well. I think twice this summer I've already lost power for like a couple hours, and we're only in July. But I'll tell you what, the other thing though, in the fall it is absolutely beautiful here, especially where I'm at right now in Marshall, Virginia, in Fauquier County. It's nice and crisp. You got all the leaves that change colors. I mean, I even had friends come out from California for a week to go visit Skyline Drive and drive around and look at all the beautiful fall leaves. And then high school football is really big around here, so people go to all the games, and you got the nice bands playing and all the fall air. I absolutely love it. And then the spring is definitely my favorite time of year. Like, the grass turns green like you're in Ireland. All the kids are excited that are getting out of school. It's really fun. The only thing I'll tell you is it does actually rain a lot during the spring around here, but you definitely get that 4-season feel. But I will tell you the truth, most realtors will not tell you about the extreme weather here, and you might be shocked. But you know what? If you're from New York and you're used to getting foot of snow, we don't get that here, but you know what? Definitely keep that in mind. Let's keep talking about my 5 things that realtors won't tell you that I will tell you. And definitely hit me up if you're thinking about buying a home. Let's keep talking about the 5 things. All right, so the next thing we got to talk about that a lot of realtors won't tell you is traffic. So Washington, D.C. officially just passed the Los Angeles area for having the worst wait time in all of the United States and the worst traffic in the United States. Why is that? Well, of course, when the Trump administration came back, we got called back to the office. So everyone is going back into the office, and not a lot of people use the public transportation systems. Now, Metro doesn't come out here to Prince William County, but it does go to like Ashburn, Fairfax area, things like that. But the traffic here can be absolutely brutal. Even some of these side roads can be nuts. I mean, the average commute time, I think it said in the DC area, is around 40 minutes, right? So traffic is something that you're going to have to realize is going to be part of life, whether you're dropping your kids off or picking them up from school or going into the office. Definitely plan on where you are looking at. So like usually when I meet with a buyer from this YouTube channel, we jump on a Zoom and then they'll tell me where they're working. And then I will show them what areas make the most sense, because we do have the VRE train here, the Virginia Railway Express. Something else that I'm about to get into right now, which is going to be these hot lanes. So how these work are, they're actually like a bidding system. So the more people that are using it during the busier times, or like traffic times, the more expensive it gets. So you actually get a little transponder called an Easy Pass on your car here, right? And so now I'm getting into a hot lane, and then they charge my credit card every time I use it. But so now I'm heading out of like Western Prince William County, and I'm getting on the major highway, Interstate 66, and I'm heading up towards like Fairfax or maybe maybe even like 28 where Dallas Airport is. Here's the catcher. I've seen this thing before for a 5-mile drive be $30. Because why? To the right of me, you're gonna see 66. That road can be bumper to bumper. So if you're in a hurry, you're probably just better off paying the $30 or whatever. But even like right now, I'm only going 10 minutes up the road and it said it was $10 just to go. So these easy passes can get really expensive, and they actually have a problem right now where a lot of people aren't using them because they're so expensive. But these are actually privately owned or kind of like a joint venture with the state. And so they did just have a thing where the Dallas toll road over by Ashburn and Leesburg and Dallas Airport, they tried to increase the prices by 40%, but the Virginia Supreme Court said it was unreasonable. And so that got shot down, luckily. But one thing I want you to keep in mind that a lot of realtors won't tell you, definitely plan out your trips for traffic. Definitely be ready to pay some tolls on these easy passes. Like I said, you do not have to use them, but if you want to do HOV, you have to have 3 people and then you need a special responder. So that is one thing I definitely want you to keep in mind. Let's keep going over my list of things that realtors won't tell you about living here in Northern Virginia. All right, so the next thing we got to talk about that a lot of people don't realize is, you know, almost a third of all houses in the state of Virginia, and I bet it's probably like half in Northern Virginia, are part of a homeowners association. So if you're from an area that doesn't have a lot of HOAs, you're definitely going to want to consider that when buying a house here in Northern Virginia. I mean, obviously, so look at this neighborhood, right? You've got the gate here, which obviously is going to have costs associated with it. Then I see a guy over here cutting some grass, or he's like, and so that's going to have a lot of costs associated with it. And then you have this like big, huge clubhouse with a pool and all kinds of different things. So a lot of times you're going to have these HOAs, and typically they're going to be run by like an HOA president that lives in the neighborhood. And some of these people can get, you know, pretty hardcore. But I like having mine in the sense that, like, I know that like the trash collection is going to be once a week. It's always going to be on time. You know, I don't really mind it. In my HOA though, we don't have things like a community pool and stuff like that. Yeah, so like my HOA, I don't really mind. It's like $100 some a quarter, but some of these can get crazy. Like you're talking $400 a month. Like this neighborhood I'm in right now, it's probably $350 to $400 a month. And then a lot of them are gonna actually have special assessments, especially if you're dealing with condos, or they're gonna have things like, you know, an initiation fee when you're talking golf course neighborhoods. And that always like typically like really throws home buyers off, and they're like, oh my gosh, I did not realize how expensive the HOA deals are here in Northern Virginia. Especially condos, they can get really expensive. But I want to show you something though, because it might not be that bad. All right, so now we're walking around right this neighborhood. Now you got to check this out. Look at this. Look at all these amenities, right? They have the indoor pool, which is completely awesome. And then you have a pickleball court right here. You've got the clubhouse with the gym, and then you've got the setup for bocce ball. So a lot of these neighborhoods have some really cool amenities that you can follow, that you can have and do. Even like a little putting range here, and this like cool little spot to hang out and have a drink. And they've got like the heaters over there. Look how beautiful this is. So that's one thing that you're definitely gonna have a plus with the HOAs, is you're gonna have a lot of cool amenities. But keep in mind, this neighborhood, if you have like a trucking business, they're definitely not gonna let you park like a work truck there with like lettering on it. So HOAs are definitely part of life here. Pretty much almost every neighborhood in the state of Virginia, you do have by law 3 days to be able to review all the rules and regulations for the HOA when you're buying a house. Let's keep talking about my things that realtors don't tell you about, unlike me here in Northern Virginia. All right, so there's 2 other things that I want to talk about. I don't even know what number we're on. I guess number 5. Maybe it will be more than 5. You guys are getting a bonus. Another thing is going to be the cost of living here is a lot higher than the national average. I mean, why is that, right? Like home prices in Fairfax County, they're actually like 50% higher than the national average. Groceries and essential foods are about 20% higher than the national average. So definitely keep that in mind. And then plus you throw in all those tolls and hot lanes, that's going to cause a lot more money that you're spending. Schooling costs, car costs, everything is a lot more expensive. Another thing to keep in mind is that this is a really transient area, right? So people come in and out. I think we had like 150-some thousand 30,000 people leave already this year, and then 30,000 less moved in. Why is that? It's such a transient area with all the government jobs. A lot of your neighbors are going to be military. They're going to be FBI. I mean, a lot of my YouTube viewers are in the military, or maybe they work for a government contractor. Like, I literally just wrote a contract and someone was only here for a year and then they already had to sell their house. They got transferred to Japan. So your kids will have friends at school and the next day they'll be gone. Well, I don't know about the next day, but you'll end up finding out that people leave. And that's something that you really want to keep in mind. But I will tell you, it still does really have a good community feel. Now, we got to talk about the dreaded Virginia car tax at Pros. Kind of funny, anytime I talk about this on my Instagram or YouTube, it literally goes viral because everyone hates it so much. And I feel like the last 4 people that have run for governor swore up and down they're going to get rid of it, and they never do. So what exactly is it? It's actually a personal property tax on things like vehicles, boats, motorcycles, and it's going to be all based on how that county feels, how much they should charge for your vehicle, or maybe, you know, your motorcycle, your boat. So a good example would be if you're driving around maybe even to like a $70,000, $80,000 Ford F-150, you might get, shockingly, like an $1,800 personal property tax bill, and they come every October. In the last 2 years, they've been so high because the car values went up so much that the counties gave extensions for people to pay them because a lot of people couldn't afford them. It was such a shocking bill to get. I think it's one of the biggest downsides of living in Virginia in general. And now I'm sure other counties make it up in other ways, but in Virginia, they just haven't figured out how to get rid of it. And I do know some of our state income tax can be cheaper than usual is, but that's something to keep in mind. Like, I'm walking over here looking at my truck right now, and this thing is like $1,500, $1,800 a year just in personal property taxes. So it really discourages you from spending crazy money. So if you're wondering why I don't drive a Lamborghini or a Bentley, obviously it's not that I can't afford it. No, I'm just kidding. The personal property tax, that's something that you want to keep in mind as well. But I'm going to go inside and finish one last thing. And I want to tell you what's good about Northern Virginia and why I love it and why I've lived here my whole life. Let's talk a little bit more about that. You better hit that subscribe button because I'm out here in the sweat and the heat teaching you guys everything I know about living here in Northern Virginia. Wait, let's add all this up, all right? You're looking at over $30,000 in hidden costs per year beyond your mortgage. You're talking property taxes that run usually around $5,000 to $8,000, car taxes, tolls, HOA fees, and the premium cost of living here in Northern Virginia. And you're easily spending $1,000 to $1,400 a month in extra essentials that you probably won't have to in different areas. But you know what? Living in Northern Virginia is actually not that bad. I love living here, and this is why. Number one, it's a really diverse and unique area. You have people from pretty much everywhere, especially when you have Washington, D.C. nearby with all the embassies, all the federal workers, of course, in the government, like CIA, FBI. So you have people coming in and out all the time. There is always something to do in Northern Virginia, whether it's going to a winery, a brewery, going to 2 Silos or Jiffy Lube Live, or of course a sports game in D.C., or maybe even hitting up the Kennedy Center. And you're actually right here in the Mid-Atlantic, so you have 5 states right around the corner, or you can hop on 95 and be in Florida in 10 hours, or New York City in 5 or 6 hours, right? So the location is absolutely beautiful. And the economy here, yeah, during the tough times like we're in now, the change in government has always been super strong. Anywhere you go, if they know somebody from Manassas, Virginia, and they will always say, yes, I know somebody from Manassas or Fairfax. Why? Because they've probably had a family member move in and out here several times for different jobs or careers because we have such a great job market. And I'll tell you what, most the people here, I'd say 99% are really nice, genuine family people that really love living here and they really appreciate the community that we have here in Northern Virginia. So definitely consider moving here. If you are considering moving here, I would like to help you. We are a real estate team here in the DMV market. Email me anytime, info@colganteam.com. You can also text me at the number below, but I wanted to make sure that you didn't get hit off guard here with these hidden costs. Another thing to keep in mind, I can jump on a Zoom with you or someone on my team, and we can go through everything from the home purchase to the beginning, all the way to the end of just like where you want to live, where are you going to be working, what's the best towns. I've had people tell me, hey, I'm going to be getting a job in McLean, Virginia. I want to live here. And I'm like, no, you might want to consider this area because your kids might want to go to school here, or the VRE train is over here, or the metro. So we can break that all down with you. And by the way, next, I'm going to drop a video about Arlington, Virginia, because a lot of people are moving there right now due to the Amazon. So if that's you, definitely watch that. By the way, guys, comment where you're watching from, and you better hit that subscribe button because I got myself out in this crazy heat today.